Hey dolls, and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'll be doing swatches and review of the newly launched Charlotte Tilbury's Matte Beauty Blush Wands. So this just launched last February 2nd, so just 2 days ago. So hopefully I finish editing today so you guys can really see each shade, and hopefully I can help you in choosing which shade suits you. So this blushes claims to be a universally flattering, easy liquid blush wands that lift and revive the look of every complexion. These matte blush wands are infused with light reflecting pigments to effortlessly glide onto the skin with a smoothing, soft focus finish for a beautifying pop of color. So these are the swatches for each shade. The first one is Pink Pop, which is described as light pink, but on my skin tone, it looks more like a light nude peach. The second shade is Peach Pop, which is described as a nude peach shade. And on my skin tone, it looks more like a coral shade. The third shade is of course Pillow Talk, which is a rosy pink shade, but on my skin tone, it looks more like a brownish pink shade. And the fourth shade is called Dream Pop, which is described as cherry red. And on my skin tone, it appears to really look like a cherry red shade. It has this rose gold cap, which I like because it's long. I hate when the cap is too short, and when you put the tube back to the cap, sometimes the product will transfer to the cap. So I like that it has a lot of space so it doesn't get the product on the cap. Also, what's unique about this packaging is that it has an on and off sign over here. So you could put the arrow and align it to off, and the product, even if you press it hard, won't come out. It will only come out if it's on, which is really great because with this packaging, it's easy to be pressed inside your purse or inside your makeup kit, and then the product will just ooze out. With this, at least it has a lock. So now let's try it on my face. I didn't put any powder because this is a liquid blush, and you know, when you set your face with powder and you put liquid on top, it tends to be cakey or it would lift whatever's underneath. So I only use my foundation. So the first shade that I'm going to try on is called Pink Pop. So I've already swatched this on my hand so you can see the shade. So again, this is Pink Pop. And they said that to apply this, you apply 1 dot to your face if you want like an everyday look, 2 dots for like date night, and 3 dots if you want to go to a disco. But today I think I'm gonna go with everyday first. And then I'm going to put 1 dot on my cheek. And I'm going to use my MAC 130 to blend it out. I was expecting this to be like the Rare Beauty where 1 dot is enough. It's very pigmented, but this one, I don't know if it's just the shade, but it doesn't show off that much. So this is with the blush and this is without, and I can't really see a big difference. So I think I'm gonna do 3 dots. Here we go. I'm not too sure if it's just the shade, but yeah, it's not too pigmented, so you have to really build it up. Although it's called a matte blush, I think it has more of a satin finish than very matte. The swatches on my arm, which is pretty set right now, it looks very matte. Oh wow, wow, it doesn't move. Actually, except for this shade, which is the first shade. I think it's very light and easy to be transferred. This is with 3 dots on my face, or maybe 4. And although I like this color, it's just not giving a lot of pigment. And it looks very peach, cool peach tone on my hand, but on my face it actually really looks like a warm pink tone. I'm not gonna count the dots. I'm just gonna put on whatever I think is needed and then blend it out with my brush. Now that I have the shade on both of my cheeks, I actually appreciate the color. So far when it comes to application, it's so easy to blend this blush when it comes to pigmentation, you actually need to build it up and layer it more for it to really show on your skin. But I'm really thinking it's just the shade, because this is a very nude shade. So I guess that if you have a darker skin tone, you really have to build the shade up. But this is how it looks like on my cheeks. Again, this is the shade Pink Pop. When it comes to finish, it has that satiny look. On their description, they actually really describe this to having light reflecting pigments, and I can see that. Like, you can't really see some, you know, glitter or like small specks of glitter to have that glow on. It doesn't have that, but it has this satin, a little dewy finish that it doesn't look completely matte. So I think what they mean by it being a matte blush is that it doesn't have any specks of glitter and it dries down like a matte blush, but it still has this satiny finish because of that light reflecting pigment. So the next shade is called Peach Pop. Start with one dot first. Whoa, that is a very bright color, and I'm just going to use my fingers because I realize I want to make sure that this looks true to its color, and if I use my brush it might get mixed with the other shade. Yeah, this is much more pigmented than the first one, and I think one dot is actually perfect for every day. But let's build it up and put, I'm gonna do 3. I think what they meant by them when they said that this blush will lift and revive your complexion is that it would actually give you a good looking skin underneath. I think that because it is matte, but it doesn't look like a dry matte finish, it looks more like a satin finish. It makes my skin looks better, but it also blurred out my pores. Like, my pores over here are not too visible. So when it comes to that claim, I really believe that it can lift and revive your complexion. And if you're someone like me who has been looking for a liquid blush that will not accentuate your pores or texture, I think this is the way to go. And I actually love this shade. So I'll put it on the other side, go straight with 3 dots. I like how wherever you put it, it doesn't bleed, it doesn't move unless you blend it out. Oh, I love this shade. I think I put too much on this side, so I'm just gonna add 1 more dot just in the middle. I find that I like applying this with my fingers more because this blush is quite serum-like. It's very thin, so it's better if you use your fingers because you can really blend it out well. Even though this is a duo fiber, I find that because of the consistency being very serumy and very thin, I think that it's better applied with your fingers. Oh my god, I really put a lot on this side and now I can't catch up on my left side. But I love that it's very blendable, and even though I am on my 3rd or 4th layer, it doesn't look heavy. It just adds more color, but it doesn't look heavy at all. So it's such a unique formula actually, and it really stays on, like it's not moving. I really like the formula because you can sheer it out or build it up so you can really see the color, but it stays really thin, very serum-like, still very blendable, and still very light on the face. Again, this is in the shade Peach Pop. So far, I really love this shade. It's a perfect everyday blush for me. I even think that this would be good to put in the middle of your nose to have that drunk blush look. It's perfect. I love this shade so much. So the 3rd shade is a very popular shade. It is the shade Pillow Talk. I don't know if you guys know, but Pillow Talk products are sold every 6 seconds globally. I think it's because it's such a universal shade that a lot of people are really appreciating the shade. I actually got the Pillow Talk liner and I love using it on my bridal clients. Let's see if this will be a good complementary blush for the liner. Oh yeah, it really looks like the shade of the liner. Again, one dot is not enough. Like the pigment would show off, but that you won't really see the difference. I think that one dot will be enough if you don't have any foundation on and you just want to do like an everyday look where you have a liquid blush, a lip gloss, and then you just curl your lashes and you're done. I think that will be good for the one dot. But if you have a base on, you definitely need 2 dots or more. So I'm gonna go ahead and do 3 dots and let's blend it. Oh, I like this color too. I think that this shade will complement a lot of skin tone. It's such a universal pink because it has like a brown tint to it. It's a brownie pink. Oh, I love this shade too. So I'm gonna put it on the other side. Again, so easy to blend. I'm not sure if I like the puff though. I feel like it's not very sanitary and I don't like that it's having contact with my foundation because then the sponge would have my foundation as well. I hope that they come with the packaging that it's just the blush and then I can just dispense it on like my palette or the back of my hand. I dispense a little on my finger and I'm gonna do 1 dot on each side. I love this shade. And I love the feeling of it on my skin. It really feels like skincare. Okay, so this is in the shade Pillow Talk. Last shade is called Dream Pop and this is the darkest shade of all the 4. Let's start with 1 dot. Yeah, because it is darker than the rest, it really shows off. 1 dot. Let's do an extra 1 dot. Now this is showing really well. When it comes to these blushes, it boils down to it not being very pigmented, but it would show off as the shade gets darker. So obviously with Pink Pop, I had to put like 4 or 5 dots on my face for it to really show off. But with this is only 2 dots and it's really showing off on my skin. So I'm also going to do 2 dots on the other side. And oh wow. Now this looks very cherry red. This would really look good on darker skin tone. If you have a lighter skin tone, you have to be very careful with this because again, it's such a dark red color that it would really show off on your face. And I think that if you put too much of this, it would look like a rash or something instead of it being that cherry red color. So you have to be careful when applying this shade. I think that this would be really nice on my darker skin tone clients. And I think also this will be a perfect match for my airbrush makeup because I love layering liquid blush and then powder blush. But it's tricky when it's airbrush because I need something very, very thin when I use my airbrush makeup because airbrush makeup does not mix well with other heavy products. So I think that this and then putting on my airbrush makeup for my clients and then putting on a powder blush would be such an amazing combination. I actually also like this blush, but I think that this would not be my everyday blush. I think that this would be my special events blush when I really want my blush to really show off. So when using this, make sure that you start really slow, maybe 1 to 2 dots max, and see how it looks on your face before going ham on it because this is such a dark color. So again, this is in the shade Dream Pop. I'm going to try and put a little powder on my face and set it. I really love it too when I set it with my Estee Lauder powder. It kind of toned down the shade and my skin looks very smooth. So let's add 1 dot of this and see if this blush can still be applied with powder underneath. Don't think it can be applied with powder underneath. It doesn't want to stick to my face. It's actually just hanging on my fingers, and you can see it's not really like blending on it. So this is best used just over a liquid foundation, but not on top of powder foundation. Because I know some blushes like Pixie, it can be applied on top of powder, on top of liquid. So that's very versatile, but this one, you have to be careful and only apply it with a liquid foundation. So now that I've swatched all 4 shades and I saw how it performs on my face, I think that I'm going to give this blushes a 5 out of 5. I really enjoyed this product. I was very amazed on how the formulation is. It's very serum-like, very like skincare-like when it comes to consistency. It's so easy to blend, and I love that because I have big pores, especially on top of my cheeks, I love that it actually blurred out the look of my pores because it dries down matte, but still giving me a good looking skin because the finish is still a little satiny. It's such a weird combination having a satiny finish but drying down as a matte consistency. I couldn't wrap my head around that idea that it could happen, but it does when it comes to this blushes. And I don't know if she actually has textured skin in mind when formulating this blushes, but for me, having textured skin, especially on my cheek area when I put my blush, I feel that this product really solved my problem. I'm looking for a blush that is really easy to blend, so it has to be liquid and that will give me good looking skin without highlighting my textures and my pores. So I really appreciate the formulation of this product. And having these 4 shades, I think that it's very inclusive, having a shade that is more of a cool tone for cool tone fair people. And I love that they also have this warm corally shade for medium skin tone, and then of course Pillow Talk for a neutral skin tone. I also think that this neutral shade would not only cater to neutral skin tone but would also cater to all skin tones. And then I like that it has this really dark cherry red shade to cater to a darker skin tone. So I like that she was very inclusive when choosing the shades for this matte blushes. When it comes to wearability, you guys know that it is important for me for a product to last me a long time, but so far there's no smudging, the blushes are not moving, and I swatched it a long time ago, maybe an hour ago, and it's not moving at all. When it comes to coverage, most of the blush started to get really thin, like I can really see my skin underneath, but it's still there. So I'm going to include a wearability test maybe on my shorts, and I'm also going to pin a comment on the description bar below so you know how this wears throughout the day. But so far, I'm really in love with these blushes. It's really true to its claim. It's quite expensive though, but if you are a professional makeup artist, you can actually apply it to their pro program. So this usually costs 52 Canadian dollars, but with my discount, I get it for 36.40, so it's such a big discount. So maybe if you have a makeup artist friend or if you are a makeup artist, try applying to their pro program for discounts. So I hope that you find this video helpful in choosing the right shades for you. And if you like this video, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you'll always be updated once a new video is out. Thank you so much once again for watching. I'll see you on my next one.